2 unicorns in one box. It's gonna be a spicy unboxing, baby. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is the Kitchen Knife Guy, and this will be the last video of 2024. To all of you who've watched any video on this channel, whether it's the last video of the year or any other video, thank you so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. I thought there would be no better way to kind of cap off the year with a spicy unboxing. Now, for those of you who don't know, unicorns are typically knives that are particularly hard to get for various reasons. Eventually in 2025, maybe we'll have a video explaining more what unicorns are all about. In the meantime, I've had some great videos, I think, this year on the channel. We've done everything from multiple unboxings to a few head-to-heads, lots of Western maker knife reviews, and probably one of my favorites, if you haven't seen it already, handmade versus factory-made kitchen knives. This is a topic that I'm asked questions about a lot, and so I thought I would put out a video so that when people ask, what's the best factory-made knife, or why do factory-made knives suck compared to handmade kitchen knives? I'm like, well, you're wrong about both those questions. Go check out the video, hopefully all will be answered. So in what you're going to see next, I am not going to be using the knives. One of these two knives is a knife that has been used. I've slightly restored it, and I have been using it since, and I absolutely love it. The other one I haven't yet used, but you know me, I don't care if they're unicorns, I don't care if they're factory-made knives, all knives in this household get used. So thank you again so much for your support. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell button. I think only about 15% of you actually click that bell button so that you get notified when a video goes live. So make sure you hit that bell button. Now we're going to do an unboxing, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about the Smiths and the knife in front of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. See you in 2025 where we'll have other awesome content, and enjoy the unboxing. Master Kenichi Shiraki from Sakai, Japan, who is now retired since 2020, is revered for being a master craftsman and blacksmith who made some of the most sought-after Honyaki kitchen knives of his time. Known specifically for his white No. 1 steel or Shirogami steel water quench Honyaki, also known as Shiroichi Mizu Honyaki, traditional Japanese knife-making techniques, exquisite craftsmanship, and a particular attention to detail with high standards in his craft are some of the reasons kitchen knife enthusiasts flocked to Shiraki Himono for whatever he had to sell. Before Shiraki-san retired in 2020, he did have a skilled blacksmith who studied under him for 16 years before taking over Shiraki Himono. That blacksmith is Satoshi Nakagawa, who carries a lot of the same skill and attention to detail as his master Kenichi Shiraki. Nakagawa-san closed Shiraki Himono and opened his own workshop, Nakagawa Himono, in April 2021. Now, what do you have for you? The knife I ended up buying from Shiraki-san is one forged likely around 2010 or earlier and sharpened in 2020 by Shigehiro Kasahara. It is a 290mm single bevel Kiritsuke Yanagiba, Shirogami 3 oil quench Honyaki, mirror polished. I did reach out to Nakagawa-san to figure out if it was a knife he made or his master Shiraki-san, given there is a lot of talk on the internet that during Nakagawa-san's apprenticeship, he too used the same stamp as Shiraki on the tang of the knife. Nakagawa-san confirmed it was Shiraki-san who forged it, but to add to a lot of the debates I see on the internet, in my opinion, even if it was a Nakagawa-san, at the time, his master would have deemed him worthy of carrying the Shiraki Homono stamp on the tang. Like a head chef who is more a teacher, a delegator, this happens all the time with knifesmiths too. So focus less on who held the engraving tool and more on the representation of the piece. Of course, the blade came dressed in oil to protect it from rusting. The homon was difficult to capture on camera, and I definitely love to see this polished a little deeper to increase contrast, but it definitely won't be happening by my hands, that's for sure. Of course, as you saw, I love that this knife came with a certificate of authenticity. Certainly my first like this of its kind. The handle was a custom edition from the previous owner of this knife from Kabuki. It is likely to be ebony, marbled buffalo horn, and silver spacers. As for what I'll be using this knife on, I have no idea, but it's going to be big and it's going to be awesome. Without getting into the whole story, here's some information on the Shigefusa brand of knives. Shigefusa Knives is a company out of Sanjo, Niigata, Japan. It is a company constituting of the father and two sons. Tokifusa Iuzuka is the father and master craftsman of Shigefusa Knives. Yoshihide Iuzuka and Masayuki Iuzuka are both the sons of Tokifusa Iuzuka. Shigefusa is world acclaimed outside and inside of Japan, with Tokifusa Iuzuka having gotten his start under the famous Tamahagana razor maker Iwasaki Shigeyoshi. If you are wondering how the Shigefusa brand name relates back to the name of the founder, Tokifusa Iuzuka, it may make more sense now, a kind of ode to his start with Iwasaki Shigeyoshi. Shige, where he got his start at making quality tools, Fusa, part of his name. Before Shigefusa Knives was born, he did study for a period of 7 months under swordsmith Nagashima Munenori. I'm saying that like it's Italian. The skills he learned there bridged the gap between the knowledge acquired in razor making and how everything he learned until that point and the apprenticeship Nagashima-san would apply to kitchen knives. Iuzuka-san has now been making knives for over 50 years and is a local legend, receiving a Master Craftsman accolade from the governor of Niigata Prefecture in 2007. Shigefusa Knives are revered across the globe for their excellent craftsmanship, love of his Shigefusa secret vintage carbon steel, and his blade profile, typically convex with a nice distal tapering of the spine. He uses no automated machines and everything is forge welded in-house. He even used a traditional metal shaving or scraping tool called a sen to establish geometry. This is a very cool feature of the construction of his knives. Here's an excerpt of a sen being used by another legendary master craftsman, Kiyoshi Kato, filmed by Japanese Natural Stones back in 2014. The bevels on Shigefusa knives are of course finished on a series of whetstones, synthetic and natural, to achieve the Kasumi finish he is known for and have the edge be razor sharp. Back before I purchased this knife, I only lusted over one particular Shigefusa knife. I wanted a 180mm Kitaeji, his Damascus line Usuba, a knife used for rotary peeling. Then this opportunity came up to get the Kasumi line 210mm Gyuto, and I just had to take it. I had heard very polarizing mixed reviews about his Kurochi line, so I was skeptical, but man, I couldn't be happier with this Kasumi Gyuto. Knife specs are up on screen. Now when I received it, the handle was so dry I kinda left it in a jar of mineral oil for a few hours before wiping it dry and applying a few more coats of mineral oil and beeswax, then followed by, as you know, my favorite, true oil. The blade had some patina, but it almost looked like scattered dots, almost closer to rust, so I applied a bit of baking soda and potato to remove the rust spots, and then for the very first time, and I'm happy I did, I used the Tosho Knife Arts Kasumi powder, put a new edge with the 1K Shafting Glass Stone, and then used basically the JNat Black Nagora for some finishing strokes. Shigefusa knives are made in small batches, all by hand and using traditional methods, have more than doubled in price over the years, so I count myself very fortunate and won't be greedy looking for another unless it happens naturally. In the end, a Shigefusa knife is the embodiment of what people think of when we talk about Japanese kitchen knives. Handmade, all done in-house, traditional methods, a short learning term with a swordsmith, and the skill and knowledge to make as perfect a kitchen knife as possible.